Hey guys, this is Natalie from Treasures of Minnie, and as promised, I am going to show you today how to make this really pretty sparkly Halloween card. I made mine an invitation, but you can make it anything you want. I think you're going to be very surprised at how simple and easy it is. This is the inside. I did have a little mess up in there, but we can fix it as we go. So, are you ready to get started? I am. Anyway, the biggest and most important thing that you're going to need is actually a napkin. Any napkin of your choice. I happened to get these at Walmart. I think they were in like a pack of 50 for a couple of bucks. That will let me make probably 100+ cards, which I'm not going to do. But anyway, the main important part is that you have to take the first layer off, the picture part. So I'm having a little bit of trouble with mine because I'm trying to show you it's kind of embossed right there, and that embossing area is not letting me peel the edge up. So what I'm going to do is kind of come down into the bottom of it right here, and I'm just going to peel up a little, like a little piece of it, a little tear of it, or I'm going to try to. And then once you get kind of that little piece pulled up that I'm working so desperately to do, here we go. Okay. So once you're able to get that little piece pulled up, you can then grab it and get off a big, it'll all come off in kind of one big sheet. Oh, there we go. So now that you have your sheet ready, you're going to need to cut your card. We're going to do a standard A2 card. So you're going to cut your piece of cardstock in half at 5.5. And then you could score it. I just kind of like to do it this way, and I take my bone folder and put my crease in there and make sure it's nice and good. And then we'll have our card as soon as I get this done. And we're going to make it to where it folds up. So now we're going to take our napkin back and we're going to kind of decide what part of the picture that we're going to want on our card. And you're going to cut that out to be about the right size for the front of your card. So now I have this cut. So now that I have this cut, I'm going to grab a sheet of double adhesive sided paper. I happen to be using, it's called Score Tape by Sukwon. I'm also going to cut it down a little bit smaller to kind of match the shape of the pumpkins that I'm going to use before I make it sticky, because it's kind of expensive. You also want to make sure that you put the sticky on the right side that the pumpkins are on, so you might want to take a little extra time with that. Now that I have it on there, I'm going to trim down and I'm going to cut around it the way that I want it on my card. So that means that I'm also going to fussy cut around the pumpkins as well and get it all nice and trimmed up to fit the front of my card. Now after I've done that, here comes the fun part. We're going to, well, I'm going to trim it up. Now we're going to get out our piece of paper because we're going to do some embossing. I'm going to put a nice good thick coat of Versamark all over the pumpkins because I'm going to be using something called Stampin' Bond by Stampendous. So I'm going to put this over it just like I would if it was embossing powder. And then I'm also going to use my heat tool on it, just like you would if it's embossing powder. And it's nice and shiny, it's done. Please hit pause. Sorry, my camera cut off and I didn't get to record the glitter part. So if you hit pause, you can read the caption. Now we're going to cut a piece of purple cardstock at 5.5 inches long. This is the exact width of the front of our card. I'm going to use some adhesive and I'm going to attach it to the purple card. I'm going to leave maybe about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom so that you can see the purple around it. Also, after I've done this, I'm going to leave maybe 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch above the pumpkins that I'm going to fussy cut around. This way you'll be able to see kind of like a shadow of the pumpkins. After I fussy cut around this, what I will be doing is gathering my stamp that I want to stamp on there that's going to say, "You're invited." There we have our pumpkins. Now I'm going to just do a practice stamp of my sentiment, and I liked it. So I'm going to line it up where I want it, use my embossing powder tool, make sure I don't get anything on it. Take some Versamark, and I'm going to line my pumpkins back up on there again just to make sure I get it stamped in the right spot. and I like where I have it. So then I'm going to get out my white embossing powder and I'm going to put it over the sentiment, and I'm actually going to put it all over because I want to leave just a little bit of dust behind to kind of make the stars. And there's what it looks like embossed. Now I'm also going to take a embossing pen because now that I have that fine little bit on there, I still want to kind of get a little bit more, and I have to put the moon. So I'm going to put little dots, just little tiny dots all over, and then I'm going to emboss them, and now you have bigger stars. And I'm also going to take my pen again, and I'm going to decide where I want the moon, and I'm just going to kind of freehand a little circle, and I'm going to emboss it with yellow. Well, it's kind of a neon yellow, actually. So it's a lot of embossing, but it's just a little bit of work. And there we have the outside of our card. Now for the inside, I am going to speed through this really fast because I am kind of running out of time. So here I am, I'm just doing some corner trims, and I'm going to put a piece that's a 1/4 inch smaller top and bottom in there. But before I put it down, I'm going to take, I'm going to stamp. These are some little stamps that I got at Walmart for 97 cents, so they'll probably only work maybe 1 or 2 more times. But I'm going to take some white Memento pigment ink, and I'm going to just stamp some little ghosts on the page wherever I feel like they need to be. There's nothing really specific about it, but I am letting them hang off the page a little bit because I think it's kind of neat and fun looking if they kind of look like they're flying in off the page. Now remember, this is the piece that I cut to fit on the inside of the card, and kind of the reason I did that is because the pumpkins are kind of heavy on the front, and the cardstock just needed a little more of something. So, and I wanted this piece to still be black for my ghost. So I just cut a black piece, and I'm just going to adhere that in there in just a minute as soon as I decide where all these little ghosts are going to go. And I'm also going to do the word boo that came in it. These are just little foam stamps. Literally, they were 97 cents. Probably won't be something that lasts forever, but I thought it would be fun for now. So I think I'm going to stamp 2 on there. And, yep, 2. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that away. And then I'm going to get out some more pigment ink that I have. I have this color box one that's full, but I'm just going to use the purple that's in the top corner, and I'm going to kind of stamp over the white boo, but I'm going to move it down and over to the right just a little bit because it'll kind of look like a shadow or like it's flying. So I'm real careful just to use just the purple square there. And I like it, so I'm going to adhere it to the inside of my card on the top with just some regular adhesive, which I ran out, so I got to get some more. No big deal. I keep an extra always, always. Sorry about my runny nose, guys. And once I adhere this down, I'm also going to cut a white piece just like I did this black piece, and that'll go for the bottom so that you can put because we got you're invited, and on the inside it's going to say you're invited to, and on the inside it's going to say our Halloween party. So I'm just rounding my corners. You can or you don't have to. I just liked the bottom corners rounded. And I'm going to go ahead and stick it in there so I can work on it with it in the card. Because we haven't adhered the pumpkins to the front yet. So, and you don't want to do that because if you do, when you're working on the black, you'll kind of smush them. So, I know it's hard. I like to go ahead and get mine together as I go too so I can see the amazingness. So here I'm taking that same pigment ink and I've got the word our, and again I'm just going to use the orange in the top and do that in the center. And then I've got this really cool Halloween stamp. It's got the word Halloween written in kind of like using like, I don't know, like the O is a pumpkin and all that. So I'm going to use all the way across the top of my stamp so it kind of makes it a rainbow effect, but it's all Halloween colors, so I really like it. Sorry about my head. And I know you can't see it yet, but I will hold it up. And then Party is going on the bottom, and I'm once again going to use just the green, the bottom, like a kind of like a, I'm trying to get it lined up here. Now in this part, I just used some jelly pins and some Wink of Stella to decorate the inside of it. And I am sorry this is skipping through it so fast. But anyway, I did dry it off with my heat tool just to make sure that that the Wink of Stella and the gel pins weren't still wet before I closed it. So here's kind of a close-up of what you can see. And it'll show you how the Halloween stamp, those are what I used my Wink of Stella and gel pins to color in. Um, and since it's nice and dry, I'm going to go to the front and I'm going to put some foam adhesive on the front. And I probably used more than I had to, but I don't know. I'm always afraid stuff's going to fall apart. So I'm also going to leave it, so here you're going to still be able to see the black. I pulled it up enough that you can see the black, then the purple, then the actual pumpkins. And here you have it. Here's our nice and pretty sparkly card. And if you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up at the bottom and hit subscribe because the more I get, the more I can do. Thanks, guys. Bye.